Well, hello. So this is a message to the producers of Nightmare on Elm Street and Robert Englund. I know that there is a reboot being made about Nightmare on Elm Street and Robert Englund with Freddy Krueger character, but I want to give you some advice in this new society, in this new climate as we're moving forward. So I have a difficulty watching the older films, and the reason being is because of the context of the character. Now, spoiler alert, I'm going to let you know a little bit the things that you learn through the entire franchise. First and foremost, Freddy Krueger is the son of a nun and 1,000 maniacs. So what happens is this nun is inside an asylum. She gets locked in overnight, and 1,000 maniacs rape her. And so Freddy Krueger comes out. Freddy Krueger grows up, goes on to become a violent human being, and works at a school where he takes children and kills them, and perhaps molests them. I'm not quite sure. That is a vague aspect, but he ends up killing them. The parents find out. He goes to court, but because of a glitch in the system, he gets off of it. The parents get really mad. They burn him alive in a barn or in his house, something of that sort. And when he does some magic, connects with the spirits of this nightmare world to some degree and becomes Freddy Krueger, the one that we know where it comes into your dreams, and if he kills you in your dreams, you die in real life. And there's a certain element of truth to that. So, yeah. That whole element, and it played on our nightmares. It played on nightmares, elements like that. But as we move forward, it is very difficult for society to see a child murdering, maybe molester as a hero, with stories coming out from religious groups, with 10,000 children that we know of. Those kind of stories are really resonating within society. And as we're moving forward, we want something that will inspire us and make us into a better society. So what do I represent? What do I say about Freddy Krueger? He never did those things. He never did those things. He was innocent of those things. Of all the things that the parents came in and did for him, he never did those things. And also play up the factor that it's 1,000 maniacs versus a nun. Who's more powerful spiritually, 1,000 maniacs or a nun? And within those 1,000 maniacs, and also play up the story of the 1,000 maniacs. Maybe there was some good maniacs, and maybe it wasn't all 1,000 maniacs. I don't know. There's that whole story and element because it's balanced between light and darkness, and there's a complete darkness. So those are kind of those things that I recommend. Trust me, I recommend you don't make him. I recommend you make him into a character that. But there's another side character. There's something else, There's another evil character, but don't make Freddy into the villain in that aspect. And the reason being is because when you don't make him to the villain, you allow him to become that character that people align to. Because right now we live in a society where the internet and people are like, you're this, you're that, There's a lot of hatred towards individuals. And sometimes certain individuals can feel a weight of so much hatred towards them because, maybe they want to have an idea or opposing ideas and elements like that. So that pressure of hatred that eventually breaks a person and turns them into what Freddy Krueger is. So Freddy Krueger is, so to a certain dark justification, the factor that these parents that burned, this Freddy Krueger, who is like, I never did that to children, but because you said I did, now I'm going to kill your children because you said I did, so that flipping of madness, I think that's society will understand that a little bit more rather than, building the backstory of like, why would I root for this guy? Because your villain, you kind of have to root for your villains, right? You kind of have to, there's a certain element of, you can't just, you have to root for the villain and you have to root for the hero. So what do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Is it a positive way for us to be able to move forward and deal with the psychological pressure that societies often sometimes place on individuals? I think so. I love you, Robert Englund. I love you, New Line Cinema. The amazing franchise you have created, and I do hope that this new reboot will really push us forward into a whole new dimension and of positive and growth that will be resonant and be like, you gotta watch this movie, oh my god, you gotta watch the new franchise, and then which will lead people, it's like, but you gotta watch the old franchise now, to have that linkage. It's like, this is what it was before, this is what it is now, so, and then pull in the other characters, because I think that Jason, for instance, this mother was angry, spoiler alert, this mother was angry. I think that with even Halloween, by the certain, well, sorry for all the spoiler alerts. By the end of the Halloween franchise, you realize that, Michael Myers was a victim. So all these elements playing up the element of them being victims. I think that's what really worked for the original films was Robert Englund. I mean, Robert Englund, come on, you know what I mean? But I think as we move forward, as much as I love Robert Englund, we need something that will align itself to our spiritual and our psychological growth, because that's what society is desiring at this point. I want to wish you all a wonderful, wonderful year. Take care.